Yo, what's up guys, my name is Hakiii, and in this video we're gonna look at the biggest changes and improvements that came with the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. There were a very good amount of changes like vehicle nerfs and then visual improvements and much more. We're gonna take a look at all of them in today's video. If you find this helpful, drop a like and subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss any more videos like these, and let's get into it. So the first big change I noticed first, and it makes sense why, is the vehicle delivery times after you buy it. So basically, as soon as you buy a vehicle from, let's say, Legendary Motorsport or any of the other websites, the vehicle delivery time would usually take like a good 2 or 3 minutes, which is actually kind of a long time if you just sit there and wait for it. And it's been reduced to, I want to say, about more or less like 30 seconds. So from the second you actually buy it off the website, it's going to spawn in your garage after more or less 30 seconds roughly. I think this is a really good change, probably in everyone's eyes. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone that's unhappy about a reduced delivery time like this. The next thing we're going to talk about is a pretty cool and funny addition to the game. With this update, we got a brand new clothing item, which is actually a new shoe type, and they are basically the GTA version of Crocs. Now, not only is it kind of funny that they brought Crocs into GTA 5, but the name of them is even better. Rockstar decided to name them Uglies, so that's kind of shots fired by Rockstar at Crocs if you ask me. All I'm saying is it's a pretty bold move by Rockstar to call Croc looking shoes in GTA 5 Uglies. That's definitely pretty interesting right there. The Crocs are also in sport mode as well, so unfortunately you can't switch between casual and sport mode with them. I wish you could, but oh well. Now the next change is going to be a very big improvement that we should have got honestly a long time ago, but I mean, better late than never, I guess. You can finally go through the phone contact list and choose which one you want to appear and which one you want to hide, because you probably never use it. For example, KDJ and Sasanta, I do not want to see him on my contact list. I never need to use them. I never want to use them. And so what you do to sort through this is open the interaction menu, and then inside of inventory, you'll see the phone contact list. And then you can choose which ones you want to hide and which ones you want to appear on the contact list. My go-to contacts are probably Mechanic, Moore's Mutual Insurance, Lester, and let's say Franklin. Whichever ones you actually need to use here and there, you can set them as the favorites, and you can even hide all of the online players list if you're in a public session. I'm glad we finally have it. That's definitely a really useful change. The next change slash improvement is one that we also should have had a long time ago. When I first saw this change, I was like, really? We don't have it yet in the game? Are you kidding? We can finally request bicycles through the mechanic. So basically, if you have a bicycle in one of your 10-car garages, if you guys remember the little bike rack you have on the left side in the back, since this update dropped, it finally is appearing when you click on that garage. So if you have a full 10-car garage, it's going to be more than 10 cars if you have some bicycles in there. It's actually crazy that previously, if we wanted to take out a bicycle, we would have to go to that garage and manually write it out every time. And if it gets destroyed, we have to call Moore's Mutual, I think, or maybe you don't even need to do that. But basically, you would have to go all the way back to that garage regardless of where you are on the map. That's another good change, and again, we should have had that a long time ago. If you're enjoying the video so far, now would be a good time to drop a like and subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any more videos like these. And let's continue. Moving on to the Freak Shop, which doesn't have a whole lot to it, but it's still a pretty cool property. We have an area where we can customize the Brickade and the Acid Lab. You can also upgrade Mark II weapons in the Weapon Workshop, of course, although we have that in a couple different places. Then I don't know if this is completely new, but we do have a jukebox in the Freak Shop, which is actually really sick. I was surprised to see it, and it basically controls the music inside of your Freak Shop, and you can change the tune for just $1, so you can scroll through between the different genres like hip hop, pop. I think there's jazz in there as well if I'm not mistaken. That's a nice touch to the Freak Shop that I really liked personally. Next up, we have something that's tied to the Freak Shop, and it is the Dax contact options. After doing the first mission of first dose missions, you're gonna check out the Freak Shop, and then once you go outside, you will have Dax added as a contact on your phone. And then when you call Dax, you have two different options. The bottom one is requesting transportation, which spawns a vehicle near you. So if you're in need of a vehicle to go somewhere, it could spawn that way. This would be a very useful option, but unfortunately the vehicle that spawns is Dex's Journey, which is a super slow vehicle, and I would not recommend it going anywhere around the map. I wish it was a better vehicle than the Journey, because that is a horrible vehicle to transport yourself around. And the second option when you call up Dex is the request work, which you can probably guess what it is. I mean, it's just like calling up Franklin and requesting work. That's gonna start up a mission in free mode, and I guess it's pretty fun since, I mean, they're new missions and we've never done them before. There's definitely some crazy stuff happening in those missions. That's all I'm gonna say right now. And after completing it, you got a payout of $50,000, which is pretty good. The first week of the update, it was actually double money, so you got 100K for like, what, a 10-minute mission, which is not bad at all. The next big change that happened with this update is one that many consider to be a bad change. In the Cayo Perico heist, NPCs can now detect dead bodies, which apparently makes the heist way harder to do now. I'm not someone that plays the Cayo Perico heist often, so I don't really know too much about it or how harder it actually makes the heist to complete, but based off what people are saying, it just makes it way harder now and way less people are playing the heist, which means people are doing a lot of other money methods. If you're someone that grinded the Cayo Perico heist a lot and did it back to back to back, this is definitely a very bad change for you. Unless you're the biggest pro in the world, then it doesn't really matter. And speaking of other money methods, the gun running cell missions have been permanently tripled in cash. Not sure if it's only the payouts or maybe also the RP has been permanently tripled. I've heard some people grind them because they might actually be worth it to do now. Along with that, there's also the high demand bonus for free mode cell missions in public sessions. So if you do a cell mission in a public session, on top of the goods you're selling, you're gonna get a high demand bonus, because in Rockstar's eyes, it's more risky to sell in public sessions, even though you could do free mode cell missions in invite only sessions if you want to. I think that's a pretty good change because it actually gives a reward for people that want to be a bit more risky and sell in public instead of invite only. And the griefers probably also like that change because it gives them more of an opportunity to mess with people. Moving on to the nerf that the Toreador got. Basically, in missions, you cannot call in the Toreador anymore, just like you can't call in the Oppressor Mark II in certain missions, and it's kind of a bummer to be honest. Although I see a lot of people turning to the Vigilante now since it also has lock-on missiles like that, but the Vigilante is less good than the Toreador overall. Let's see if they do the same thing to the Vigilante next update, because they're just kind of getting rid of really useful vehicles for certain missions. All of the casino missions through Miss Baker can now be played solo, so you don't have to have anyone else to help you. I personally don't care that much about that just because I'm so tired of Miss Baker constantly calling me about doing those missions. I might just need to complete them once and for all so she stops calling me. It looks like Rockstar is continuing the trend of making more heists and missions able to be played solo. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments down below. A cool change for people switching to GTA Expanded and Enhanced from the regular version. You're no longer required to do the House intro race. Previously, we would have to complete a pretty long HSW race just to start off, and you have to finish it within a certain amount of time, otherwise you have to do it again. That's a pretty good change, I'd say. And another big change is the ray tracing graphics on next gen. Now, I made a whole other video on this. It's actually really interesting. If you want to see what upgraded graphics on GTA look like without any mods, click the video on screen now for it. I hope you all enjoy that video, and peace.